What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are diving into Hasegawa's manga, Mobile Suit vs. Giant God of Legend, Gigantis' Counterattack. This brings the world of Gundam and Space Runaway Ideon into one, as we follow some familiar new types to take on the Giant God Ideon. Like Space Runaway Ideon, it will try to reset the universe. It is up to one kid, Judau Ashta. This will have spoilers to the ending of Space Runaway Ideon, so let's get into this. Universal Century, 0090. Rumors began of a new Zeon spreading. In order to combat Neo-Zeon threats, Londo Bell was established. This was led by Bright and Amuro. However, Kaishiden came out to the public claiming that Londo Bell's Amuro was an imposter. However, a few days later, he retracted the statement and made a public apology. During this time, it seems Kai met with Bright. Universal Century 0091. A Decoration Petite Mobile Suit heads back to the Jupiter-class ship. The Decoration Petite Mobile Suit are simply petite mobiles that resemble a Gundam, in design only. This one is the Mark II. The pilot happens to be Judau Ashta. He mentions that there were notes from Chal Yabul and Sirocco. Both seem to have encountered what they refer to as the Bloodstained God. Like Half Gundam, this may or may not have happened. Judau gets out of his mobile suit in the hangar to see a new Gundam. He thinks it is Double Zeta. A man approaches him and tells him that it is the Proto Zeta, soon to be the Mega Zeta. It is Amuro Ray. He tells Judau that he needs his help. History would go on to say that these two never met. Judau meets with Amuro's subordinates, Iron Face and Shima Hachijo. Amuro gives a letter from his sister and says that Bright sends his regards as well. He wonders where Rue Luca is, and Judau says that she left him. So in this story that may or may not have happened, Judau and Rue did indeed get together for 2 years. 2 years, that actually seems long for teenagers. He shows Judau a picture of a giant hand. He says, "Oh wow, those are tiny Zaku's." Give him a moment. He goes, "Oh wow, that's a giant hand." He tells him it is some kind of gigantic mobile suit that is 100 meters long. There are Zeon remnants out there stealing hydrogen and trying to get their hands on this. It could potentially lead to another conflict. Amuro wants his help, but Judau wonders if it is an order. Amuro says, "Nah, I just need help." He agrees, though he is still very hesitant about the military. Remember, in Double Zeta, the second to last thing Judau did was punch Bright in the face. The last thing he did was leave it all behind. Judau and Amuro both pilot the Mega Zeta. The MSZ-009M Mega Zeta is a two-seater version of Double Zeta developed by Anaheim Electronics. It looks similar to Double Zeta, but has a more powerful high mega cannon. It also has the Saikamu hand similar to Jiang's, though this is just an excuse to give the unit a rocket punch and make it more super robot-like. Other weapons include the Hyper Beam Saber, missile launchers, and a double beam rifle. It does have a Wave Rider mode. Judau is struggling in the cockpit. Iron Face and Shima are in the Gem Sniper EX. The Gem Sniper EX doesn't really have any info, but it is equipped with a beam rifle. Not even a sniper beam rifle? Weird. They don't have too many leads on what they're looking for, but their plan is to lure out Zeon remnants with the Gundam. Judau thinks this is a little sloppy. He also thinks that there's something Amuro is not telling him. Amuro asks if he heard the story of the legendary Giant God. It was discovered in the Andromeda Nebula. Humans fought against an alien race known as the Buff Clan for the power of Ide. But in the end, Ideon decided to reset the universe with a big bang. He is referencing the end of Space Runaway Ideon, which we did start covering. The story of Ideon was written by Tomino, who, in Universal Century, also writes history books. How old is Tomino in Universal Century? Suddenly, Judau gets a new type flash. He drops the Mega Zeta on an asteroid where they find a giant mecha. Amuro initiates Plan D. Iron Face and Shima will pretend like they haven't found anything while Judau and Amuro sneak on board. Amuro feels an immense power. They sneak on and find Tawages in the hangar. Judau hears someone calling out to him, saying, "Help me." He reaches a room where two men are talking about someone with new type powers harnessing the power of a god, specifically a girl. Since they have Ideon, they now believe they are a part of God's plan. Also, this guy looks like a pig. Judau sneaks into the room to find Mineva Zabi. He grabs Mineva and helps bust her out. Commander Pigman is informed that there are mobile suits approaching. It is a Red Zaku 3 custom. This is Char Aznable. I really dig this early UC90s Char look. It is halfway in between Quattro and CCA Char. We've seen this look in both Moon Gundam and The Return of Johnny Raiden, so they were probably referencing Hasegawa's work. Also, this Zaku 3 is called Suzaku. Most people think Code Geass, but I think of this. Remember, in Twilight Axis, Danton piloted a Zaku 3 custom originally designed for Char. They mention Char never used it in Twilight Axis, and is probably just a neat nod. He is accompanied by Kitaras. There's no information on the AMS-110 Kitara, but it is equipped with a 3-tube PIM missile launcher on each hand and a torso beam cutter. It also seems to have a mobile armor form, which makes the beam cutter more powerful. Commander Pigman launches their mobile suits consisting of Dowages, Rikjigans, and Dogashiyas. The MS R-12 Rikjigan is equipped with a head-mounted cannon, Vulcan guns, and a 4-barrel machine gun. The MS-16 Dogashiya is a heavy mobile suit equipped with 2 chain maces on each arm. They engage in battle. Mineva wonders why he helped. Judau says it was because she was calling out to someone, new type style. She has been so lost since her mother died and was separated from Haman. This is suggesting that this is the real Mineva. At the end of Double Zeta, we learn she was switched out with a body double. She mentions that her mind is consumed with the god. They are surrounded by Commander Pigman, whose name is apparently Hitorin. He seems to be familiar with Judau's past. Pigman tells Mineva, "Hey man, did you know that this guy right here killed Haman and destroyed Neo Zeon?" This causes Mineva to freak out and activates the god. Ideon joins the battle. Char says that the giant god will rise again if they don't stop it. Mineva gets naked and floats towards the god in a giant psychic ball. Judau grabs Pigman and demands to know how to stop the giant god, but they don't know how to. They merely found it. Everyone is attacking the giant god. Char launches Big Zam Kais. There doesn't seem to be any known differences between this and the original Chicken Bot. They all fire the Mega Beam cannons, and it does nothing to Ideon. Commander Pigman plans on using Ideon to restart the universe in the name of Zeon. I don't think that's how it works. Hitorin runs away in a Zaku Decoration Petite Mobile. Amuro runs into Judau and tells them that they need to get out of here. Where have you been this whole time? They catch up with the Mega Zeta and Shima and Iron Face. Amuro found a disc on the giant god. The CD-ROM will never go out of style. He tells them to make sure the disc is in safe hands. Mega Zeta attacks. Judau tells him that Mineva is the pilot. She is using a Seikomu to communicate with the giant god. The Mega Zeta tries to fire, but the Dogashiya knocks the double beam rifle out of its hand. Mega Zeta punches through the Dogashiya's mace. What a useless mace! The Zeta does a rocket punch. Seikomu hands. The Dogashiyas go down. Mineva consents both Judau and Char. She begins hating everything and everyone, allowing the Ide's power to grow. The god takes out the Mega Chickens. Mega Zeta is knocked back, but Ideon grabs and saves Judau and Amuro. Commander Pigman decides to destroy the god now that they have lost it. Ideon tries to take out Shima and Iron Face. The Mega Zeta uses the high Mega Cannon and is able to fire a second shot without any cooldown. The amount of radiation coming off the god is growing exponentially. They are now certain this is the machine they were looking for. But if this is the machine, then it might go boom and reset the universe. Inside Ideon, Mineva is scared. Char tells everyone to retreat as it fires in all directions. Shima and Iron Face are hit. They are alive but out of commission. Amuro mentions that he had a dream where the universe was reborn. Judau said he dreamt something similar. Amuro wonders if this is a warning from Tamino, who in this timeline is from Jupiter. Commander Pigman tries to run away, but Char takes out his Petite Mobile. He calls Hitorin an idiot. Zeon was meant to destroy the giant god. He wished he knew about this treason earlier. The Mega Zeta grabs a mace from the downed Dogashiya and rushes the giant god. You punched through that, why do you need it? Char joins him as his wingman. Judau tells Amuro to go for the head. He's going to hop out and try to save Mineva. She happens to be calling out to him. Ideon heads towards the Olympus Jupiter colony. The colony begins the evacuation process. Amuro tells Judau that Mineva isn't worth the reset of the entire universe and to kill Mineva if push come to shove. Like the beginning of this manga, he asks if that's an order. Amuro says yes. Judau responds by saying in that case, he won't listen. He heads out to save Mineva. Amuro and Char team up. They even cross their rifles. It's like a metaphor for their love for each other. The two enemies become allies to prevent the universe from being destroyed. On board Ideon, a voice speaks out to Judau. He calls Judau Cosmo Yuki, aka Aframado, the hero of Space Runaway Ideon. Char consents Commander Pigman. It seems Ideon is gathering the collective thoughts of dead MS pilots. Amuro realizes that Judau is evolved even for a new type. The new types of the past, Camille, Four, Rosamia, and many more couldn't handle it and broke under the psychic pressure. If one person can handle it, it will be Judau. Mineva pushes Judau back with a new type force push. The voice keeps calling him Cosmo. He says that he used to be Cosmo Yuki. The voice says after 150 billion years, they have been reunited. It is the voice of Kerala Ajiba, daughter of the Buff Clan's supreme leader. She is just a thought being manifested by Ideon. She isn't doing this. It is Mineva and her anger that is triggering the Big Bang. But this timeline seems to harbor weapons of war no different from their timeline. Seems Ideon has given up hope once again. They've created seeds in this universe and say that they can learn a lesson from the past, but it seems to not work. It is insinuated that the Ideon universe created new types, so this universe doesn't fall into hatred like the past. She doesn't outright say she is responsible for new types. She merely says she has the ability to plant seeds. Corella tells Judau that if Amuro and Char survive this, they are destined to kill each other. She's telling Judau that the events of Char's counterattack are destined to happen. Corella says that she could stop that right here and now with a new Big Bang. Judau says, "This is stupid. You're a stupid ghost," and he takes a swing at a psychic entity. Judau just tried to punch a ghost. While fighting, Char can sense Lala. Judau is told to get up by the ghosts of Pudu and Pudu 2. Karasun also speaks to him. All of the new type bitches lend Judau their powers. He says that the power of friendship always wins. Yeah, I love it when that happens. He breaks into the cockpit and touches Mineva's boobs. Once he touches Mineva, Amuro can sense him. He uses her as a beacon for Amuro. Amuro knows what he must do. He takes the head of Ideon and rips it off the body. Both Char and Amuro fire everything they got, taking out Ideon's hand. Super friendship power activate! They are able to take down Ideon and save Judau and Mineva. Char doesn't say a word and bails. Their fight in the Earth sphere is still waiting. The voice of Corella says that she wonders if new types in the future will be more like Amuro or more like Char. Also, Corella is just a manifestation from Ideon, suggesting that the god truly isn't dead. Amuro departs from the Jupiter sphere. Mineva will stay here for now. Also, Amuro didn't know what Ironface looked like without the mask. He says he just wears it because he is shy. As Amuro leaves, he thinks to himself, the term new type is already outdated. UC 0093. A new war begins between the Federation and Neo-Zeon. The war ended with a cosmic glow that people still don't seem to understand to this day. And that will conclude the manga Mobile Suit vs. Giant God of Legend, Gigantis' Counterattack. Once again, Hasegawa is proving that he is one of the better storytellers in Gundam. I am biased though, and I actually love the Tezuka art style that most people seem to hate. It is cool to see a multiverse of super robots outside of the Super Robot War video games. Make more manga like this. Oh well, we still got Gundam vs. Hello Kitty. Let me know what you think of this manga and Hasegawa's work in general. But that will do it for now, new types. Be sure to plant seeds for the next universe. Peace.